TheZenWitch, what up? It's Luna here without an unboxing. Still out of decks. Still waiting for the packages to start bombing my porch with all kinds of new decks to review. But since I don't have a deck to unbox afresh, I am going to be reviewing another book. And this one is quite interesting on this beautiful sunny day. I hope that the light isn't bothersome to you. If it is, too bad. It's a sunny day and I'm shooting in the sunshine. Okay, Tarot in 10 minutes. A clear and direct step-by-step method to unlock the secrets of the Tarot. From one-card readings to full spreads, quick and easy to master and comprehend, learn to read and interpret any major Tarot deck. And this is by R.T. Kaser. Copyright is 1992. This is published by Avon Books, I think it said. Avon, New Age section. The secrets of the Tarot at your fingertips. Tarot, one of the world's oldest and most trusted methods of psychic divination. Since the time of the ancient Egyptians, only a select few have possessed the skills necessary to unlock the mysteries of the cosmos. But now anyone can learn to read and interpret the most complex Tarot card spreads in minutes. This comprehensive, fun, and easy-to-use guide can transform even an uninitiated beginner into an expert psychic consultant, offering step-by-step instructions on how to start with 1- and 2-card readings, move on quickly to more difficult spreads, including the traditional Celtic cross, discover the 2 cards that reveal your true self, learn the 29 basic questions of the Tarot, understand and specifically interpret what the cards foretell, receive helpful guidance on real-life concerns from career and money matters to love and life goals, includes a complete reference guide to the Tarot that can be used with any deck. Master the Tarot in minutes for a lifetime of enjoyment and entertainment and enlightenment. The future is in your hands. Okay, it sounds like it is promising reasonable things that, we can have an easy way to start learning this massive thing of Tarot. They do engage in some hyperbole here that only a select few have ever possessed the skills necessary to unlock, the Tarot. So let's take a look. And I am using the Heaven and Earth deck with this today. And I'm going to go for just a few chapters in this book. Let's look at the contents page. Or let's read a little bit of the preface. Tarot in 10 minutes is not your typical Tarot book. You aren't going to have to wade through this book from front to back and digest a lot of extraneous information before you begin to play with your cards. In fact, you'll be conducting your first reading, asking your first question, and getting your first answer in less than 10 minutes, aided by the book's prefabricated answer sections. These answer sections are not your typical Tarot book answers either. In other books, you have to struggle to relate general, all-purpose descriptions or heavy-duty mythological references to the question you asked. But with Tarot in 10 minutes, if you ask about your love life, the book will answer in a way that talks about your love life. If you ask about your finances, the book will talk to you about money. There are 29 questions and 29 answer sections in all, and they cover everything from your career prospects to your mission in life. So you know right away you're getting canned answers, prefabricated. So what they're telling you here is you don't have to do any interpretation. They've done it for you. And immediately I want to ask, then why pick up a Tarot deck? Then why do it? Okay, anyway. Within 9 minutes, you will be learning which Tarot card is your mascot in life. That is if you choose to start with reading number 1. Or you'll be exploring your employment situation, delving into your dreams, contemplating your life's purpose, because there's a reading for just about everything here, and there are no rules about how you should proceed through the book. Starting at the beginning and working your way through to the end will result in a complete experience with the cards and a complete look at your life. But if you don't want to start with reading number 1, don't. Just consult the contents or the index to find the reading that deals with the question you want to ask. The method you'll use as you follow the book is straightforward. Ask your questions, shuffle the cards, deal up the cards, and look up your answers. To ask your question, the easiest thing to do is ask one of the 29 questions listed in the contents or one of the 78 questions included in the index. That I didn't look at. Hold on. Index. Oh, okay. So they have these questions listed and then they send you to a particular reading in the book. All right. So ask your questions, shuffle the cards. They have advice on how to shuffle. You see this big spot here? That's because I've got decals on my windows. It's too bad you can't see through because I have this gorgeous stag and Celtic knot patterns. I'd love to see it on here. Oh, well, some of the readings in this book are so easy to do that they don't even require you to shuffle. But when it comes time to shuffle, the book will tell you how. In general, there's absolutely no way you can shuffle the cards wrong. Absolutely true. Ruffle them together, shuffle them front to back or back to front, swirl them around on your table in front of you. With this book, you do not have to cut the deck. You do not have to light candles or burn incense. You do not have to work on a black velvet cloth or keep your cards wrapped up in silk. You do not have to pick out a card to signify you or the person you're reading for. You can do these things if they make you feel more comfortable with the cards, but no complex rituals or extra procedures are required to get an answer. Just follow the instructions. So to deal up, they're done shuffling when they don't want to shuffle anymore or one flies out of the deck. How to look up your answers. Either way, within 6 minutes, you'll be reading your cards, which means they expect you've taken 4 minutes to do this part. My first experience with tarot was a fiasco. I lit my incense. I had my bowl of water sitting by to keep the evil spirits away. I shuffled the deck, asked my questions, dealt up my cards into a Celtic cross formation, then went to look up the answers. The book gave me 10 or 15 different answers for every card. Each card, it seemed, could stand for many different things. What was I to make of this? Which was my answer? What did my cards mean? All right, sorry, I can no longer hide my bias. Obviously, I mean, they don't give you 10 or 15 different answers for each card. It's all around the same thing, different words that look at the energy of the card. I tried other books. Some told me how the cards were about an allegorical journey or vision quest. Some told me how the cards represented figures from Greek and Roman mythology. Some told me how they related to the stars and astrological signs or to numbers and numerological theories. Some taught me colors. Some taught me symbols. Some told me how the cards embodied ancient Egyptian ideas or the religious traditions of Mother India and pagan customs of Europe or Hebrew mysticism. Some spoke only of the cards' Christian symbols, some only of New Age spiritualism, and some of Jungian psychology. All of this was quite interesting, but when I dealt up my cards in a Celtic cross, I still didn't know how to read them. What I really wanted, needed, desired was a book that helped me out with the answers, that helped me figure out what the cards meant in the context of real-life questions. Tarot in 10 Minutes is my humble attempt to give you the book I could not find anywhere else, the book with the answers. The book that's going to tell you what to think. The book that's going to make it so you don't have to think at all. All right. If you can't take meanings that are given you for a card and understand how that relates to the context, you should have a context in your mind about your question, right? If you can't do that, then you shouldn't be messing with cards. Plain and simple. Because what this person is saying to me is that they want someone to give them the answers. They don't want to have to think about it themselves. All right, ouch. Well, let's go. How about this? Let's look at the contents. Introduction to the cards. So we have a section where it shows you the Smith illustrations. Pamela Coleman Smith illustrations. Then we have the readings. Who am I? Where am I? What's next? When will I know? What should I be when I grow up? What is the work climate? What is the business outlook? How am I doing at work? How do I get along with others? How's my love life? How will this relationship turn out? How do others see me? Where do I belong? Will I be a rich man? I know the answer to that already. How's my money doing? How much can I expect to gain? How successful will I be? How's my game? What's my winning strategy? We go through all of these readings, and I have marked a few that we're just going to go through to test the book. So let's go to reading number 1. Notice that they do the okay. It works with all tarot decks. You'll have the best luck with cards if you use a deck that's fully illustrated. They recommend Rider-Waite, Hanson Roberts, Barbara Walker, Aquarian, Morgan Greer, Sacred Rose, the Mythic, Royal Fez Moroccan Tarot. Oh, look that one up. The Norse and the Starter Tarot. I have all of those except like 3. Anyway, we've got the first 10 trumps, starting with number 1, the Magician, for questions about wants and needs. The next 10 trumps for questions about emotions and feelings. The first 10 wands for questions about work and career. First 10 cups for questions about love and friendship. First 10 coins for questions about money and finance. First 10 swords for questions about tactics and strategy. The kings and queens for questions about people and places. Pages and knights for questions about news and messages. The Fool and the World for yes and no questions. That's the only time they use the Fool and the World, apparently. All right. So let's start with reading number 1. Who am I? In your life as a whole, and at any given moment, you can be said to be living out one of the situations depicted by the tarot cards. In this reading, you will learn to identify which card signifies your life in general. This card is your mascot in life. It describes you. It can also be said to cover you. It is sometimes called your key card. Tarot tools. Take out your deck. Any tarot deck will do, and separate out the following cards. What they want is the Magician through the Wheel of Fortune, 1 through 10. So we take out the Fool, and we take out, 1 through 10. Set those aside. All right. In this reading, we will use the numbers associated with your birth date to determine the card that represents your general situation in this life, your key card or mascot. Here's how. Simply add up the month, day, and year of your birth like this, then add up the results. So you're doing numerology here. Why we needed to get the cards out, I don't know. So when I add up my Path of Destiny number, I believe that's what it's called, is the your birth date. And hold on 1 second here. Let's get this right. This is Numerology, the Divine Triangle by Dusty Bunker. Fabulous name. Let me just make sure I'm not speaking out my nether regions here. Personal numbers, personal years, life lesson. Okay, life lesson number is the birth date. So my life lesson number is a 5 when I add up all my stuff. It says, if it adds up exactly to 10, reduce it to 1. Only if the day of the month in which you were born is an odd number, then leave it as 10. If the day on which you were born... Oh, okay, so reduce it to 1 if you were born on an odd number day, if you end up with a 10. Leave it as 10 if it was an even number day. That seems kind of arbitrary to me, but okay. Now take out the card from your deck that signifies you. Look at it for a minute, then look up its reading. So why did we need to get the cards out? We're just doing numerology here, you know? So mine is the Hierophant. Look at your key card. This is the card of people who have faith. That's absolutely true. Hierophants have the ability to believe in things. If this is your key card, your life is knit together by a highly organized system of beliefs. I got to say that's true. You may hunger after idealistic, patriotic, moral, or religious ideas. You may have a strong sense of standards, ethics, and traditions. You may even require a rigid structure or hierarchic scheme in your life. No to that. To achieve your full potential, you need to dedicate yourself to pursuits that serve a higher purpose. That is absolutely 100% true. This card can also indicate that you feel a need for public acceptance. You want to fit in, you want to belong. I mean, that is true, but I don't. I'm an outlier. I always have been. And I used to say that my biggest fear was blending in with a crowd. So I'm not sure that one goes. All right. So that's my key card. And the extra credit is to do that for your entire family. Okay. Reading number 2, Where Am I, gives where we're at right now this year. You use the same cards, but you do your birth date with the current year. So let's see, 8-1 is a 9, 11, 13, 14, that's also a 5. So back to the Hierophant. So this year, this is a time for living up to things. Look at your card. You may start to feel as if you have to walk on water this year. Standards are extremely high. The challenge is great. Nobody's satisfied with the results. Whatever is done must be done better than ever before. Whatever is assessed will be found missing something, but count your blessings. Self-righteousness may rule the scene, but few practice what they preach. When the public turns its critical eye on you, you must be sure to live up to the scrutiny. Take advantage of the chance to prove your own worth. Pay attention to details. Follow guidelines. Serve others with dedication and enthusiasm. If you sense the intervention of a power outside yourself, consider it a sign. Get into the spirit of things. For inspiration, take a sauna, gaze into a fire, or just sit in the dark. Escape into things above and beyond yourself. Okay. Let's go now to reading number 5. And that's, that number 2 was okay, not really provable in any way so far. So let's go to something that is verifiable. And number 5 is, what should I be when I grow up? Let's put an if there for the when. So far, you've been using the first 10 to ask questions about who you are and where you're going in general. Now you'll be using the Tarot Wands, roughly equivalent to clubs. All right, so I'm going to have to get those out. Wands are about the thing we do for a living. In this reading, you'll learn to use how to use the first 10 wands in order to select the type of work that suits you best. So it seems like this is written for someone that hasn't lived life yet and doesn't know anything about what they want. Set aside the 10 cards you've been using and get the Ace through 10 of Wands from your tarot deck. To select your card for this reading, we will be using a numerological method as we did in 1 and 2. So why do I need to get the cards out? What kind of work would I be good at? To select your card, add up the letters of your first initial plus your last name. So with this one, I came up with... I came up with 5 using L Hart. Okay. And what I got was, you thrive and survive in an environment where the competition is stiff and the stakes are high. Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. I detest competition, which is kind of why I do my own thing. I don't like being in competition with people around me. Look at your cards. Since you work and play well with others, you have a good sense of what it takes to master and direct your energies to the cause at hand. Well, that's true. Discipline and endurance are your hallmarks. Not so much discipline, endurance, absolutely. Since you want to see the big action, you will do best in a Fortune 500 company or in any position where performance counts. Oh my God, I'm like the anti-Fortune 500 company. The corporate world has never been for me. I absolutely shrivel up. I've only ever worked for 5-year stretches in corporate type jobs or, in any kind of job with an employer. At the end of that time, I'm wrung out, Opt for a wage structure that includes a healthy commission, a bonus program, or an incentive plan based on results or quotas. Oh my God. If you draw the 5 of Wands, make sure you understand the playing field and the basic rules of the game before you begin. If the Lovers was your key card in reading 1, watch out for conflict of interest. Always make sure you can deliver what you promise. Okay. That 5 of Wands absolutely was wrong. Completely wrong about what I know about myself at 62 years old and the kind of work that I thrive with. Absolutely wrong. So what I did, because there's a thing here that says, ladies, if you've chosen to take your husband's name, you might want to try this reading for your maiden name too. Men, try your mother's maiden name. Or maybe your wife's name. Why don't you try your wife's name? God. Okay. I'm sorry. I can't hide. I just can't hide how I feel. So I decided to take my birth last name because my last name, my legal last name, is my mother's maiden name. I went back to, the oldest female relative in the female line that I knew personally, and I took her name. And so I went back to my mother's, or to my actual maiden name, my birth last name. And I got the 3 of Wands. And it said, you ought to be in wholesale or anything involving the movement of goods and commodities across state lines or in international borders. Look at your card. An importing or exporting business would suit you to a T, for this is a card about maintaining a balance of trade. Shipping and expediting are good fields for you. Well, I was a shipping clerk at one job. Most certainly, your chosen line of work will involve keeping inventories, taking orders, juggling cash flows, and writing up a balance sheet. Taking the time on a routine basis to study the general economic situation and review market needs is the secret to your financial success. Also, be sure to routinely review the progress you're making towards your goals. When you draw the 3 of Wands, watch for changes in the work climate. If key card in reading 1 was justice, you should take time ASAP to review your assets and liabilities. Again, okay, so the ace is consider a line of work your parents do. The 2 would be a job that gives you the opportunity to get on in the world, or you want to do something that takes you to far shores and distant lands. The 4, you prefer to work in a service industry or white collar. 6, to be happy in your chosen line of work, you'll need a job that involves a just cause to crusade for, or a noble purpose. 7, you gravitate towards position of leadership or even political office. 8, cards about messages and communications of all kinds. 9, you need to hold down the fort. Claim to fame is that you're particularly good at keeping watch over things that need to be guarded. 10, any job requires you to carry your own weight will appeal to you. So, 10, I guess, there's nothing in here that talks about being an entrepreneur. It seems to be that they've chosen very narrow definition of career, that working for somebody else and jobs, and the 2 that I got absolutely do not apply to me. So, onward. Let's go back a little bit farther. Let's go to reading number 23. Who am I deep down inside? We now turn away from our outer material and physical world to our inner psychological and spiritual world, for the Tarot is good at telling us about both aspects of our lives. In this part of the book, you'll be using a set of cards you haven't used yet, trumps 11 through 20. These are the cards that deal with the things that go on in our heads. In this reading, you'll be learning about your inner self. You'll be receiving your spirit card. Now, remember that the first 3 things that I did were numerology. So it had absolutely nothing to do with the tarot as it's meant to be used. It had to do with coming up with a number that corresponds to a card. And it's static. Your birth date's never going to change. The where am I, the year, the answer will change as the year changes. But, and the one with the name, what kind of career am I good for? That is static. So you don't get to change, and I have a big problem with that. So who am I deep down inside? Let's see how we go about this. You'll need the following cards from your deck. These are listed backwards, so they're listed Judgment to the 11 card, 8 or 11 Strength, and they do say that they want you to use the Strength card, whether that's the 8 or 11 in the deck, not the Justice card. But what they say here, since they're listed in backward order, these are listed backward because we have reversed directions in the tarot. That's not what reverses are at all. How to find the card that corresponds to your key card from reading number 1 in the following table. Aha! So we're still with numerology and tied to that very first card we picked that is not changeable because it's based on your birth date. So again, we have something numerologically based that is not changeable for who I am deep down inside. And I mean, to be fair, you would think who I am deep down inside is not a changeable thing, but at any rate, so my key card in reading number 1 was 5, the Hierophant. My spirit card in reading 23 is the Tower. You are a person with a strong conscience. Look at your card. Yeah. So again, why did we take the cards out of the deck? I mean, we're going to look at it, but as the Hierophant on the outside and the Tower on the inside, you are the possessor of an enlightened spirit. Well, I try. From time to time, you literally see the light in revelations, inspirations, sudden realizations, prophetic dreams. Perhaps inner voices descend on you, telling you what you ought to do next, informing you of the right thing to do. Well, that's absolutely on the money. You are intense, convicted, and convinced that you are right. Opinionated. Okay, I'm called out. I own it, and a bit self-righteous at times. Me? Pardon me. And even though the ends may not always justify your means, your intentions are usually good. In addition to the typical human senses, you have a good sense of drama. Not me. Which serves you well in expressing the beautiful visions of the possibilities you see. Okay, I gotta say that one hits home for me. Now let's go to what are my motivations. We continue on the path to understanding your inner self in this reading as we investigate the things that are behind the actions we find ourselves taking in life. In this reading, you will be looking at the reasons for the things you do. You'll be looking at your secret inner motivations by using trumps 1 through 20 as your guides, so we're not using the World or the Fool. Need the same cards that you used in reading 23, the Judgment back through Strength, plus you'll need the cards you used in reading 1, the Magician through Wheel of Fortune. So all of the majors except 0 and 21. Keep the 2 stacks of cards separate for now. All right, let's put them in order this way, and I'm actually going to put these in the order they want me to. So there they are, next to each other. You can't even see them because the sun is so damn bright. Let's find out if you even need to see them. This will be a 3-pair cover and cross reading. First, shuffle trumps 11 through 20 as you ask your question, what are my basic motivations? Okay. What are my motivations with regard to blank? Let's make it about the channel. I'm scared. Okay. Ooh, they said when one leaps out, you're done shuffling, so there we go. When the cards are done, deal the top 3 face up in a line in front of you. We have the Moon, we have the Sun, and we have Judgment, because I only managed just a like a cut there. All right, I'm going to make life easier on you guys right quick here. There we go. Then shuffle trumps 1 through 10 and repeat your question. When the cards are done, deal the top 3 and lay these crosswise. All right. What are my motivations regarding my channel? What are my motivations regarding my channel? What are my motivations regarding my channel? Allies and ancestors, guides and guardians, come in and help me out here. Thank you for being on the job even before I asked. I offer to you. Okay, they're done because they didn't really want to go in. In fact, I probably could have stopped a cut before, but we're just doing this. We're just doing this to see what we get. All right. Then we read the pairs. The answers. Okay, so the moon here, when crossed by the high priestess, what do I dream of? So the moon is what do I dream of? Crossed by the high priestess, I dream of what will be in the future. Well, that's deep. Then we have the sun. What do I yearn for? Crossed by the hermit, I yearn to know myself. That's true. Then we have judgment, crossed by the empress. What do I aspire to? I aspire to make the most of things. Wow, now I have the secret to my entire life. Okay, is it just me, or was that a pile of dew? Just not anything helpful there. I mean, I would expect deep answers with what are my motivations. All right, let's try it again. Let's try it again. What are my motivations concerning what are my motivations concerning reviewing this book? What are my motivations concerning this video and reviewing this particular book? Okay, we're done. What are my motivations concerning the video and reviewing this book? What is my deep motivation concerning reviewing this book? What is my motivation here? Oop, there we go. I'm going to put them down the way they fell. Now, we have the Tower crossed by the Magician. The Tower. What am I open to? I am open to making the most of the situation. So, I guess in reviewing this book, since I don't have a deck to review, I'm making the most of the situation and carrying on, kind of, I guess, maybe, sort of. Okay. Then we have Justice. You know what? The Strength, I need to swap something out here. This should be Strength. So we'll just use 11 as Strength. Is crossed by the Emperor. What do I need to control my destiny? Oh my God, you guys. And then 17, the Star, is crossed by the Lovers. What kind of lifestyle do I need? Crossed by the Lovers. I need a lifestyle that satisfies my emotional needs. All right. You know what? Fuck off. This is the most unhelpful thing. And I mean, these meanings, this is, pardon me, dropped a card. This is why the cards are open to interpretation. This is why, because you need to be able to fit them to your life. And if you have a little tiny pat answer that is not open to interpretation, where do you go? How do you fit that to your context? You don't. All right. Then we have, what's my life's purpose? Ooh, you'll need all the cards. So we have, now we have spreads. Okay, I want to look at this. What do my dreams mean? What's my life's purpose? So you put them, you have a layout here, future, 2 presents, 3 pasts. Card 1 represents the purpose your early childhood served, or it indicates the initial period of any situation. And it gives you it gives you a written out answer for every single card. I think perhaps we might go for this. Let's do it. Let's give it a chance, you know. Let's give this book a real chance to do a real reading, because, you know, only dealing with 20 of the majors and not the whole deck, and then only dealing with them numerologically and not even really shuffling. And can I tell you how strong my hands have gotten shuffling this deck? You got to go for it. All right. And you, whoop, there's the Emperor flying out. And let's light a charcoal. Even though this person is saying you don't need to light incense and you don't need to do that, let's do that and see if it makes a difference. You know my opinion about fortune tellery things, right? I'd much rather live my own life, and the cards were absolutely right in that I want to be in control of my own destiny. I mean, who doesn't? Now, they're telling me that the cards are done shuffling because that one flipped out. So I'm going to put him back in the deck. Or should he be the first one? Where'd he go now? I might keep him out, you know, to see if we need to include him. Let's see if he's the first card out. Hint, in this reading, you'll need to interpret the answers a bit for each card. The following chart gives you the context of the cards in each of the various positions. Okay, represents the purpose of your early childhood served, or it indicates the initial period of any situation. And what's my life's purpose? To assert your own identity, to define who, what, and where you are, to create order out of chaos, to provide leadership. So there's several different answers and you have to interpret. So even though they said, I hate doing this, now they're giving you different answers and you got to pick one, depending on the context of the category. So what did my early childhood serve? To assert my own identity, to define who, what, and where I am. All right, let's just keep going. This one is the purpose my adolescence serves. or how the situation developed. And this is the Princess of Swords. So my adolescence, and the princess is like the page, to fight for the truth, to be intolerant of injustice, to experience conflict, to boldly state your position. I guess to experience conflict would be that. Okay. Third one here is magician, and that is the purpose my early adulthood served: to come into my own, to develop my body, mind, and soul, to determine my own destiny, and to gain experience. All right. This is the purpose my current situation is serving, and that is the Eight of Coins. My current situation is serving the purpose of building a useful product, to finish something, to build something, to keep your hands busy, to learn a skill. My current situation. Okay. Produce a useful product, my channel, I guess, to finish something, to build something. I am building a channel. And then this one is the purpose of the period just ahead of me is the Ten of Coins. To build something that will stand the test of time, to live the good life, to experience a period of prosperity. All right, I'll go with that. And then this one, we've got the Six of Coins. Represents my life's purpose or my ultimate purpose in the situation that I've asked about. Well, I was really asking about my life's purpose. And we get material success. To be generous, to contribute to the general welfare, to help those who need a hand, to look out for others, to share what you have. And I want to go for the, there's a little italicized phrase at the bottom. To act in the interest of others was the purpose of my childhood. To prepare for the inevitable was the purpose of my adolescence. To give it my best shot was the purpose of my young adulthood. To do my best work is the current situation. Was that the current situation? That was... Yeah, purpose of the current situation is to do my best work. All right. And the purpose of the period just ahead of me is to enjoy my good fortune. Well, that's good. And then the purpose of the last thing is to share what I have. I gotta say that that rang true, except for the, the purpose of my childhood. That didn't. And again, the answers are just so, that's it, and they say you have to do a little bit of interpreting, but I don't know. All right, let's look at the back of the book, shall we? Then we have a master answer section at the end. And we do have card layouts. Let's look at this chapter. What is my mission? I have another one. One sentence answers: to work with the call and fulfill it, to receive the spirit, to know another, to dream dreams, to live life, to organize things, to champion a cause. I mean, that might be interesting to go through just as far as meanings of the cards. What do I need to learn? Where do I go from here? Quick reference guide to reading the cards and their messages. So we have layouts, 1 card, 2 card, variations, 3 card, cover and cross, Celtic cross, pyramid, horseshoe, crescent moon. So it would be worth looking at the readings that they work out there. Master answer section. The Fool. For work questions, for love questions, for money questions, for strategy questions. The The Magician, same thing. Work, love, money, strategy. High Priestess, same thing. So for every single major arcana, they go through all of those categories. And I lit my charcoal and I didn't even offer the deck anything. All right, whatever. And so we do this for every single one of the cards. Break them down into what they mean for 4 different categories. Okay, and there's an emphasized phrase at the beginning of every one. So, for instance, King of Wands for work questions, request authorization for love questions, schedule a meeting for love, for money, watch the bottom line for strategy, judge character. So, interesting full answer section for each category. Then we have the index of questions. Oh, and look, a sticker from the Acorn Grows. This was the best metaphysical bookstore ever. It's where I got my astrology books, like back in the early 80s, and they had everything there. They were amazing. Most of my metaphysical books came from there. So there you go, you guys. There's Tarot in 10 minutes. And I'm also finding it interesting that I have reverses in this deck and that no reverses came out in that last thing. So I'll let you decide whether this is something you want to get your hands on or not. I find it distinctly unhelpful, although now I am going to go, because when I get it, I will be perfectly honest. When I got it and started looking through the way it worked, I just stuck it on the shelf and didn't go back again. But looking at things like just these single phrases, for instance, the Wands, Ace, what opportunity is. The 2, what ambition accomplishes. What appearance accomplishes. What cooperation accomplishes for the 4 of Wands. The 5, competition. 6, success. 7, determination. The 8, effort. The 9, diligence. The 10, hard labor. I mean, there are good keyword things that would be worth looking at. But as far as the system in the book itself, I'm not down for it. I'll stick it back on the shelf, and that's where it will stay. So what do you think, you guys? What did you think of that? I'm really interested in your feedback and whether that you find that something you'd be interested or not. I hope you got something out of it and that it's satisfying your appetite for a tarot unboxing. If it didn't, there is a handy wish list below, and on that wish list are all kinds of tarot and oracle decks that I wish I had. And you can solve that problem for me. You can buy me a deck, and I will do a reading for you with that deck on my unboxing video. You can shoot me a donation if you want to. You can, pardon me, it's allergy season. You can join my Patreon and get deep dive, real astrology lessons and learn how to be an astrologer. Getting ready to deliver lesson number 4 at the tail end of the month. Sorry, patrons. Anyway, I love your comments. I will answer you if you comment something below. I hope to see you on Wednesday for a live stream and on Friday for an oracle unboxing. And I also want to apologize for missing Friday's oracle unboxing and Saturday's live stream because my internet was out for 2 whole days. Okay. All right, you guys, I will see you next time. Until then, this is the Zen Witch. Blessed be.